We're going to call this meeting to order of the Bucks County Commissioners, April 3rd, 2024, and I will ask Donna Duffy Bell, the Director of Mental Health and Behavioral Health, we'll just say that, to lead us in the pledge.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. We have a couple presentations today, and we will start with Second Chance Month. I am going to ask Commissioner DiGirolamo to please read that proclamation, and then Mike Harrison, Lou Emanuel, and Billy Barnes from the Reentry Coalition will talk to us a little bit about it.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas nearly all incarcerated individuals will eventually leave prison or jail and return home to communities in this county and others. Formerly incarcerated individuals face many barriers and hurdles in securing employment, housing, transportation, and health care. Working with formerly incarcerated people creates opportunities for them to become productive members of society and benefit themselves, their families, and their communities. In 2019, the Bucks County Reentry Coalition was established through collective efforts of the Bucks County government, Bucks County courts, nonprofits, and community partnerships to give returning citizens a one-stop shop of necessary resources needed to remain a free, law-abiding residents. Observed each year in April, Second Chance Month is part of a nationwide effort to inform and highlight opportunities available for people who have served time and are ready to return to their communities. Now, therefore, do we, the Bucks County Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim April 2024 to be Second Chance Month throughout the County of Bucks. In so doing, we commend the professionals of the Bucks County Adult Probation and Parole Department, Juvenile Probation Department, Department of Corrections, Bucks County Courts, and community agencies for their commitment to enhancing community safety while promoting positive behavior change among individuals in the criminal justice system. Thank you and congratulations.
Okay. Please come up and
thank you, Commissioner DiGirolamo, for reading that, and all of you for having us back to recognize National Second Chance Month, which was started by the Prison Fellowship in 2017 to highlight the importance of providing second chance opportunities for people returning to the community from incarceration. Our Reentry Coalition, I heard 2019 when we started. I can't believe it's been 5 years now. We started back in 2019 with the mission to enhance professional collaboration amongst everyone who works with justice-impacted people and their families, and also to provide information and access to resources to those individuals. Commissioners, you've supported this initiative since day one. The courts have. I think everyone in this room has. We're so grateful to all the partnerships that have been created and built upon. I see D.A. Shorn there, so many partners. We're just so grateful. We've grown to over 90 partner agencies in the Reentry Coalition now. And all of us share the belief that everyone deserves a second chance, a pathway to redemption, to be treated like a human being, to be connected with resources so they can be successful. When that happens, individual lives are changed, families are transformed, and our community is stronger and safer. So we're really grateful, again, for highlighting the importance of this work. And I'm blessed to be here with Lou Emanuele from our Department of Corrections, who's the vice chair of the coalition, and Billy Barnes, the great Billy Barnes from Workforce and Economic Development, who are going to share briefly a couple initiatives that are cooking in their agencies related to reentry. So let me turn it over to them.
Thank you, Commissioners, and good morning, everybody. I want to speak briefly about the Reentry Resource Center that is housed within the Department of Corrections. This has been open and operating for about a year now, and it's an area in the jail that was created for incarcerated individuals to utilize to start working on their reentry process prior to their eligibility to be released. Individuals are eligible to be in there, both men and women within the jail. They're able to work on classes, to work on things like parenting. There's classes coming in from Bucks County Community College. We have people coming in from religious services. And a lot of those members that are coming in to run these classes are members of our Reentry Coalition. So they're individuals from the community that we're working with, either on a volunteer basis or a contractual basis, that are coming in to work with the individuals and bridge that gap while they're incarcerated to step out into the community. So they know people, they're getting to get opportunities to talk to individuals. One of the main things with the Reentry Resource Center is we built a specific room that can be used by children and youth for individuals to meet with their children. It's specifically set up for them. It's nice. There's TVs, an opportunity to play, a play area. So it's a nice opportunity. We were able to do that through collaboration, again, with community members, because that's really the important thing that we need. We need collaboration through community to help individuals bridge that gap back into their communities that they come from. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Lou. And thank you for having me this morning. I am going to shamelessly plug some of the fantastic things that we have upcoming for the month of April at the CareerLink. And most recently, we hired a dedicated workforce counselor that will work behind the walls weekly, meeting with inmates to help them map out an employment plan both while they are incarcerated and once they're released. So we're super excited about that. And cue the Job Resource Fair on April 30th from 2 to 4:30. We are having our second annual, second chance, employer-friendly job fair. Okay, so we're super excited about that. We have 13 employers that have signed on already, and we have 11 community partners that will be participating that will give reentrants the opportunity to not only sit down with employers and secure employment, but if they have some barriers that need to be worked through, they can do that as well. We have on May 14th another job fair that we're going to be hosting in Upper Bucks County that has committed 11 employers that will be attending. So hopefully the flyer for that will be coming soon, and we can circulate that, and you can refer folks to that as well. Another employer second chance friendly job fair. Finally, this spring, CareerLink will be hosting behind the walls, virtually and in-person expungement clinics. Expungement clinics, right? We're super excited about that. That's the first time that that's going to be happening, so we'll get out some material to share for that as well. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Are there questions from the commissioners or comments?
No, just thank you for all the work that you do. You know, it's important. Obviously, this is part of the process that also often gets missed. People who, you know, have made mistakes, they serve their time, you know, they come back into the community, you know, and you know, it's one of the steps we can take to make sure they don't end up in trouble again is to try and make sure they get, you know, good jobs somewhere, try and get them housing and help them get on their feet and help them get on a different path than they were on before. So this is a crucial part of that. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner DeGiorgio?
Yeah, thank you. First, good to see everybody. Thank you for the good work that you're doing. And from my time up in Harrisburg, I mean, I just heard some really really heartbreaking stories from people who have been incarcerated and who are trying to work through the bureaucracy of doing certain things like getting their driver's license back and all kinds of things. And I've always believed that people deserve a second chance. They deserve a second chance, and maybe a third chance or a fourth chance at sometimes. So the good work that you're doing, believe me, it's just incredible. Keep it up, because people get in trouble, and they want to do something to become productive citizens after they get out. And a lot of times there's a lot of bureaucracy and obstacles in front of them that makes it really, really difficult for them to do that. So I think it's important that we all help out with that. So thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate your being here. In all honesty, as the Commissioner said, we all make mistakes. I appreciate that you are willing to understand that people do that. You're also really optimistic. If everybody had the kind of faith you had, we would all be doing a lot better here, and we're grateful that you have that faith. Thank you. And our next presentation is with regard to National Healthcare Decision Day. And from BCHIP, we have Colleen Campbell and Kim Everett. And they are BCHIP is the Bucks County Health Improvement Partnership, and Commissioner DiGirolamo will read the proclamation. How about that?
Yes.
Maybe it should be Commissioner Harvey.
No, I'm not as tall as Commissioner DiGirolamo. That's the big difference between us. So I'll read the proclamation. So whereas National Healthcare Decisions Day is designed to increase public awareness about the importance of completing your living will and of choosing someone to speak for you to ensure your wishes are honored if you cannot make your own healthcare decisions. And whereas it is in everyone's best interest to have their goals and values known prior to any serious illness, accident, or injury, as those events can happen to anyone at any time, regardless of age or health. And whereas according to the CDC, 71% of people think having an end-of-life document is important, and end-of-life decisions should be discussed with family, yet only 33% have completed the process, and less than 20% of Pennsylvania adults have executed an advance directive. And whereas in collaboration and ARPA grant resources, the Bucks County Health Improvement Partnership, BCHIP, has expanded their existing program in our Bucks County community in an effort to ensure residents receive the care they want during end of life, reducing stress on family members and decreasing healthcare costs. And whereas BCHIP, in collaboration with Bucks County hospitals, community partners, and other organizations, have endorsed National Healthcare Decision Day and are committed to educating the public about the importance of discussing healthcare choices and executing advanced care directives and living wills. Now, therefore, do we, the Bucks County Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim the 16th day of April, 2024, as National Healthcare Decision Day throughout the County of Bucks. In doing so, we encourage all adults to engage in positive conversations about their healthcare decisions and to execute advanced directives documenting their choices. End-of-life planning provides a gift to loved ones by reducing the distress they may experience in the absence of guidance from the patient. To schedule free conversation, visit bchip.org.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you. It's very hard to follow the great Billy Barnes. I just want to let you know, we've been working collectively with her on a grant for long-term care staffing, so thank you, Billy. We are honored to be here today, and thank you for the recognition of this proclamation for such an important topic, specifically for BCHIP. We were granted ARPA funds, which provided two initiatives for us. One, to increase the ARPA grants, and two, to collaborate with senior nursing facilities and their leadership for the enhancement of communication and best practices. So we are honored today. We thank you. We thank our local legislators. We're now hosting conversations in their offices, our healthcare partners and health systems, physician practices, our long-term care facilities, senior centers, community organizations, and the Bucks County Community College, who have allowed us to educate all of their staff and students or employees. Most importantly, standing behind me is our Executive Director, Kimberly Everett, two of our volunteers who we could not host these conversations without. There are several who wanted to attend, but I pulled them to host conversations today, so they couldn't be here. I have a quick slide presentation. I know you have a busy day, but I just want to let you know our progress. As of April 1st, we have completed 172 advanced directives for Bucks County residents, and 553 of those documents are now at healthcare systems, family doctors, specialty offices, healthcare agents, and family members. So we're very pleased. Our Bucks County program you can find on the hub and through our website is open to all Bucks County residents over the age of 18. Can be updated and changed at any time. Even if you have an existing one, we'll help you update it. And the most important part of the program is the document is where you need it, when you need it, or when your family needs it. So that's been BCHIP's goal this last year, and we have succeeded thanks to your help. Next slide, please. Our program, initially, people get tied up into this is the document for old people, and it truly is not. We want to make sure that right now you can speak for yourself and make all of your medical decisions. But if you had a sudden accident or illness and were unable to speak for yourself, who would you trust to make those decisions for you, and what would you want them to know? When your wishes are clearly documented, it allows your family to honor your request. When families don't know your wishes, it leads to conflict, guilt, and confusion at a very, very strenuous time. Next slide, please. So to reinforce, if you've already completed your document, when was the last time you looked at it? Does it have the correct contact information? Are your wishes still the same? And is the document where you need it, with the people who need it? We can help you update and distribute that as well. If I haven't already skipped past the first slide to tell you that our program is free. Let me repeat that. Our program is entirely free. Next slide, please. To learn more about our program, I am the long-term care manager at BCHIP, and you can contact me directly. We have specific sites in Upper, Middle, and Lower Bucks County, in addition to our BCHIP office, where you can come and have a conversation. I did bring several slides, several postcards if you need them, and on this slide, if anybody refers to it, is our QR code that goes right to our page describing our program. So I wrap it up again, thanking you for your support with the ARPA funds and for allowing us to do our work with seniors, specifically in Bucks County. Thank you.
Thank you. Kim, did you have anything? All right. Well, thank you. We'd love to take a picture with you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You guys move over to the left a little bit. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Good job. Congratulations. Yep.
Thank you. We will now move on to public comment. Ed Mackhouse.
Ed Mackhouse, Buckingham, a scientist, engineer, had military training, ROTC, been a teacher for 10 years. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Everyone wants to do good and help people, but the question is, you need knowledge, responsibility, and control. Commissioner Harvey's mentioned like Easter and Passover, religious holidays. What did the president do? On Easter, he talks about the rights of transgenders. Decent people protect women, and men should not have the right to violate women. And this is a worldwide thing. The Harry Potter woman says this. We have to stand up. We all are tested to see what we believe. It's simple. Oh, the oil companies are really great. They have money. They're responsible for climate change. This is the biggest lie of the Biden administration. I looked at it, I investigated these things. It's not the responsibility of the oil companies to do all the research and to decide on climate change things. There is no free lunch. Everything has a cost. There's no magic solar energy and stuff. Everything has a cost. The greatest achievement under President Trump was getting America energy independent, where we had reasonable prices of oils. Now the price of oils doubled, tripled, and Biden has to go begging our enemies for oil. The oil companies are do their best. The question, the scientific question is, oh, we have liquefied natural gas. There is hazards with that. We have to balance the risks of the liquefied natural gas exploding versus the risk of war because we don't have enough energy. The war started in Ukraine because cutting our oil production, so the price of oil rose so high that Russia could finance the war in there. We moved out of Afghanistan and violated all of our friends there. There's no easy answers. The lawyers, I'm a scientist, I know the answers. John Clauser, the Nobel Prize physicist, talks about the climate hoax of $1 trillion lost. We have trillions of dollars of debt. We're borrowing $1 trillion to pay our interest rate. We can be the greatest nation in the world. We can pay back our debt, but we have to increase our oil production and not fight our oil companies and be dependent on foreign oils that don't care about us. We don't need to enslave Americans and sue Trump and those people that speak the truth to the lies.
Thank you. Andy Warren?
Morning, Commissioners. I have 4 questions about the agenda. Item 4A, I thought we just had a right-to-know officer 6 months, 8 months ago. What department is the new agency director in? And does this involve a pay increase or just a shift of duties, et cetera? I didn't see it on the personnel list. Item 8A and B, what was the emergency in the Upper Bucks Library that is generating this $200,000 repairs? Item 9G, the inspection of the bridge for $130,000. Is that one bridge, one time, and is it just an annual inspection? What's the issue with that? And the other one is 13A. What's involved with a $250,000 park plan, and will that be an ongoing issue? The other point is, I guess now that we have a new right-to-know officer, I may be the first person asking for his or her help. I just saw a headline in the Herald when I walked in today that we are you three, I guess it's 3, are the only county in the country. Okay, I read it quickly, so I misread that. But we've got a free lawyer, which may cause one to wonder about services from free lawyers. But where does this come from that Bucks County is going to sue oil companies for what? I scanned the article that said we were doing it to save the environment, but it didn't state why what issues we're going to be going after. something about they lied since 1950. That was in there. What were some of these lies? What is it? We gotta have more substantial things to do in Bucks County than start a crusade about oil companies that have been, and by the way, I don't know how many of us walk.
Thank you. Beth Curcio.
Good morning, Beth Curcio from Warminster, Pennsylvania. I'm not surprised that you would look for the press by suing the oil companies. The very oil companies that make your clothes, shoes, furniture, heat your homes, run all your transportation. I could go on forever. Over the years, it's become cleaner and safer to transport through pipelines. The Marxist regime shut down right away and created one of the greatest economic disasters ever, major loss of American jobs, where we are actually energy independent and exporting oil, restoring our country's wealth. You are helping to bankrupt the people and our great country. People of Bucks County, wake up. We haven't been represented in years. We are just part of the destruction of our own country. The county commissioners are just talking heads, just like they were during COVID. They obeyed instead of doing what was right for the people of Bucks. They mandated a toxic ingestion, masks, shut down schools and businesses. If they were thinking about the people, they would have had the courage to say no. Show us the evidence. Being told what to do by the Marxist regime that stole the election of 2020, this has been planned for years. It's exactly why our founding fathers wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Protect us from a tyrannical government, the Marxist agenda. Divide the people and create hate. Mr. Harvey, you're an expert at that. Destroy the nuclear family, mother, father, children. Tax the people so bad and create inflation so it takes 2 incomes to survive and just have 1 or 2 children. Indoctrinate, confuse, and sexualize the children. Hillary's famous saying, it takes a village to raise the child. The regime believes the children are theirs, and now quickly parents are losing rights to their own flesh and blood that God gave them to care for and nurture. This is how Mao's China happened, death to 49 to 78 million. Commissioners, where are the legal criminals being housed in Bucks County? Why are the taxpayers paying for 3 attorneys to sue moms for filing winning rights to know? Did you each pay your $1,500 fines, or are you above the law? When will you start suing Monsanto's for poisoning and genetically modifying our crops? When will you be suing the water companies for putting fluoride in our water? When will you be suing Pfizer and Moderna for knowingly poisoning the people of Bucks County? During the times of Nazi Germany, regular Germans committed crimes against their fellow man. They considered it their job to torture, starve, and experiment on them. After all, they got their paychecks and maybe a pension. They actually went home to their own wives and children after the day at the camps. That's the media propaganda does to people. What are you all going to partake in? We are living through very demonic times. Stop taking part in it. Stolen elections, local, state, federal, have catastrophic consequences. Thank you.
So just to get to some of those questions, I'm going to start with our law department. To begin with, this is, I think you know as a former commissioner what contingency law is, so that means they don't get paid unless they win. I'm sure you remember that, but I will have our legal department explain that, as well as our right-to-know officer.
Sure, I'd be happy to speak on that. As Commissioner Marseglia indicated, both their administration and prior administrations have utilized the services of contingency fee lawyers. An example of that occurs most frequently in the county are securities class actions. So our retirement system has investments, right? And there are law firms that monitor those investments, and they occasionally bring opportunities for securities class actions to the board's attention, and then the board can decide whether or not to pursue those actions. None of those law firms are paid. They all operate on a contingency basis. So that is probably the most common example, but under the prior administration, opioids lawsuits were brought. Many municipalities, counties, states around the country brought lawsuits like that, and those lawsuits were responsible for bringing in significant funds to Bucks County to help abate the opioid crisis. With regard to the right-to-know officer, things may have changed between your time with the county, Mr. Warren, and today. A few statistics to help you understand some of the evolving right-to-know requests or volume. Between 2018 and 2022 right-to-know requests to the county went up 480%. And then between 2020 and 2022, that more precise window since I joined the county was responsible for 89% of those of that increase. So I hope you'll respect that there's been an evolving process in how to best staff and manage meeting those requests for public information as we're legally obligated to do. So the right to know officer has shifted in terms of title and responsibility, but it's always been housed in the law department, at least since I've been here in 2020. This change in the officer designation from the current officer to the new officer reflects the duties that are currently being handled. So the attorney who handles nearly all of our right-to-know requests right now is now being designated as the right-to-know officer. I think that's all the questions.
Moving to general let me start with Commissioner Harvey. Do you want to explain what happened up there at the library?
Sure. The issue at the library was a sprinkler head basically malfunctioned and water started spraying all over books and carpets, furniture, et cetera. And so there's obviously significant damage to, a lot of the collection was, moved by the staff. But some books were damaged, some shelves were damaged, flooring. Obviously, we mentioned, I think it's ServPro was the company that had to come in and do a lot of the repairs, and that's one of the ServPro. And you see obviously why the flooring company's in there. So sprinkler head malfunction.
Thank you. And Mr. Hutt, would you like to talk about Bridge 333?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Bridge 333 is currently under construction. Last year, we went through a change with our bridge consultants, and during that change, RVE had taken over, which is Remington Vernick. And what happened was I missed the thing for the inspection engineering, which was already set up through the state to have the bridge inspected by RVE. And then when they took over as the consultant, I thought it was already taken care of. And here, this one had slipped through the cracks in the transition, so it was corrected for this now. And basically, they had someone on site to inspect the work that was being done on Bridge 333 during, previous design and through the current times, which the bridge should probably be done within the next 2 weeks.
Great.
Hope
Thank
that helps.
you. Yes, it does. Thank you very much. And Angie, did you want to talk a little bit about the Park and Recreation item?
Yeah, sure. So we're excited to get this planning process started. The plan is funded through a state grant from DCNR, Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. They're funding us at 50% of the plan cost. It's an 18-month process. It involves a 12-person community steering committee that we've already worked with over the past year to develop the RFP that went out for bid. Some of the plan priorities include a complete facility analysis, organizational capacity, looking at alternative funding, looking at park accessibility. There's a list of about 12 to 15 priorities that we're asking the consultant to really dive into. The last plan was developed in 1998. It was an update to the plan developed in the 80s, so this is long overdue and really is going to be a comprehensive process, and we're looking forward to it being the playbook for our department and our agency for the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. So taking a look at the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 2024 meeting as well as items 1 through 15B?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, in the regular agenda today from Behavioral Health Department, we have Donna Duffy-Bell and Monica Gaffin, who are here to talk to us about the Woods Community Service Program.
Thank you, Commissioner. And again, Monica Gaffin from our Managed Care Unit in our Behavioral Health and Developmental Programs Department. Monica is the Managed Care Adult Services and Program Development Director. So what is on agenda today is a reinvestment plan that was developed after an exhaustive search in Pennsylvania for services and a service model that could adequately meet the needs of individuals with intellectual disability and co-occurring complex behavioral health needs who were transitioning from higher levels of care, like inpatient hospitalization. And were not able to do that transition because there were no community-based services that were capable of handling the complex needs of these individuals. Just to give some context, reinvestment plans and reinvestment funding comes from our Health Choices agreement with the Department of the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Reinvestment monies are available to us when there is money, for lack of a better word, left over from any medical expenses and administrative expenses that have been incurred in any given year. So the purpose of these reinvestment plans are to improve, for example, access to care, so in this case, access to something that doesn't already exist, and to improve the quality of services that individuals are able to receive. So this particular reinvestment plan will be a supplemental plan, meaning, again, that it reflects no already existing in-plan service in Pennsylvania, but will be a supplemental and transitional plan for individuals to both transition from higher levels of care and also to divert individuals in the community right now whose needs are not being adequately met. So it's a bi-directional plan to help people transition down to a lower level of care in the community, and both to divert from accessing higher levels of care like inpatient behavioral health, hospitalization, as well as state center institutionalization. The implementation of this plan also represents a braiding of funding with medical assistance waiver monies that we also manage through our department, as well as reduces the amount of mental health and intellectual disability base funding that may be required to meet these individuals' needs. So on these reinvestment plans and projects, there is no county match. So there is no financial impact to the county for the implementation of these plans. Wood Services will be the provider. They are identifying property. Again, it will not be on their current campus. This is supposed to be community-based housing. So they will identify a property and develop the property and then provide the services to these individuals. Services will focus on skill acquisition, community integration, better integration of physical and behavioral health, and include things like daily living assistance and skill building, vocational, social, and therapeutic interventions like individual and group therapy, psychiatry, and nurse navigation. This will be a highly structured 24/7 home environment and will be able to serve up to 4 individuals at any given time, with a length of stay that's projected at about 12 months. So again, it's a transitional plan. So I don't know if there's any questions.
Questions? Commissioner Harvey? Questions?
Real quick, thank you, Donna. And I just want to talk a little bit about the importance of the reinvestment money. We had a conversation a number of years ago when there was a movement up in Harrisburg to take away the reinvestment money from the county, but we were able, with your help, and a lot of other people, we were able to stop that and make sure that the county continues with the reinvestment money, because as far as behavioral health goes and human services, that money is put to good use, not only here in Bucks County, but a lot of the other counties around the state. So reinvestment money is good, it's important, it works, and it helps a lot of individuals who are in need of help. And thank you for your good work with what you're doing with this project. Thank you.
Just two quick questions. You may have said this. Is it adults and children, or just adults?
It's adults aged 18 and over.
And is there, like, maybe Monica, what's the wait list? What kind of, does this happen all the time? How frequently?
Well, right now, we have about 4 individuals that need this level of care that we haven't got anywhere for them to go. So, and we anticipate that there will be approximately 4 to 6 every year discharging from those higher levels of care or needing a diversion from a higher level of care. So we're trying to hit the medium target range and see what we can do with that.
Thank you. This is great. We've been waiting for things like this.
These reinvestment projects really provide an opportunity to pilot different ideas. And so, they're constantly overseen and evaluated. But as Commissioner DiGirolamo mentioned, reinvestment and the carve-out system, it's called the carve-out, in Pennsylvania really allows for local control and looking at local needs in terms of reinvestment into the community behavioral health system.
Thank you. A lot of people have been waiting for this, so thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve number 16?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve the personnel actions for today?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have board appointments. Commissioner Harvey, did you want to go over them?
Sure. Appointments to 3 of our boards. For the Bucks County Park and Recreation Board, a 5-year term, Mr. James Walter. This is a new appointment that will end on September 1st, 2026. He's filling the term of Mr. Craig Bowen, who had stepped down from the board a few months ago. For the Mental Health Developmental Programs Advisory Board, it's a 3-year term, reappointments of Dr. Evan Kleiman and Dr. Hyung Un. Again, reappointments, their terms will end 1/4/2027. And for the Penn State Cooperative Extension Board, Mr. Carl Vivaldi, this is a reappointment. His term will end April 2nd, 2025. I'll make a motion for those 4 appointments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And other civics, we have 4 today. These are generally, I think, annual donations. Yes, $7,000 to the Ann Silverman Community Health Clinic, $4,000 to the Health Link Dental Clinic, $1,500 to Shamrock Reigns, and $2,000 to Synchronicity Recovery Foundation. Is there, I can make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chief Operating Officer's report. Mr.
Thank you.
Cavett?
Thank you, Commissioner. I know it doesn't look like spring, but it is coming, I hope. And with that, we have our 41st annual Senior Games. Our registration's open, and the registrations only runs from March 15th to May 15th. The kickoff of the games is May 29th from 11 to 1. So if you're interested, please go on the website and register. And then also, it wouldn't be a commissioners meeting if I didn't mention the words Household Hazardous Waste Program. It's coming up this weekend, April 6th, and it's being held at the Community College in Laura Bucks in Newtown, and it runs from 8:30 to 2. So bring your household hazardous waste this Saturday. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just one item to report. The board held its standing executive session yesterday, April 2nd, with staff and legal counsel present to discuss personnel matters pending and prospective litigation. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move to commissioner comments. Commissioner DiGirolamo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last Monday, we had a press conference here on the filing of the lawsuit against the oil and energy companies, and I was here and spoke up in favor of moving forward with the lawsuit. But Madam Chair, I have considered this for the past 7 or 8 days, and at this point, I would like to withdraw my support for the lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Harvey.
Yeah, thank you. A few things just to address comments made earlier about the oil lawsuit. To begin with, actually, the United States is the largest oil-producing country in the world. And so, in terms of us being reliant on other countries, it actually works the other way. The same is true of natural gas as well. I believe we're the largest producer, one of the largest producers in the world. Comment was made that it wasn't the oil company's responsibility to do research into their product. Well, that might be true, but the fact of the matter was that they did research anyway, which is part of the lawsuit, is that the research they paid for, showed in the 1950s that continued use of their products would cause environmental damage. So that is actually their view, not ours. Comment was made about, why does this matter? Well, it matters because, according to the Organization for Climate Integrity, in the next 16 years, Pennsylvania municipalities are expected to spend somewhere in the area of $15.5 billion to have to deal with issues regarding climate change, extreme heat, extreme precipitation, rising sea levels, or in our case here, river levels. That includes about $1.2 billion in air conditioning in schools, including about $6 million of air conditioning added to schools just in Bensalem Township. Falls Township, which has the largest river frontage in Bucks County, is expected to have to spend somewhere in the area of $240 million to prepare for rising river levels. We've already seen a 5 to 10% increase in rainfall over the past several years. Bucks Riverfront towns in general, from Falls down through the Bristols, Tullytown, into Bensalem, are expected to have to spend about $172 million in flood control over the next 16 years. This is not money that's budgeted. This is tax dollars that are going to have to be spent. And so similar suits about opioids, about tobacco, about what this county has done in terms of PFAS chemicals and the companies that made them, it is really about a negligence issue. Meanwhile, by the way, while organizations connected to oil have been talking and putting out information about climate change not being real, oil companies have also at the same time been spending their own money to reinforce their own structures and buildings against the very same problems that they're telling people aren't going to happen. And there's evidence of that as well. So I will leave our suit there, and I think it speaks for itself. And I'll just thank our staff members, our department heads. We don't often thank you enough, but the kind of vision that we see coming from this organization, especially over the past couple of years, the first comprehensive plan looking at our park system in 26 years is a pretty sizable thing. We certainly are moving in positive directions when it comes to really every area, and so we're very, very proud of the people we have sitting in the jury box, and appreciate all your work, every day. I'm going to jinx things by saying it's been a while since we've heard from our Director of Emergency Management. I hope to keep it that way for a while. So, knock wood. But, and finally, just for those of our residents who do practice Islam, next week marks the end of Ramadan. Eid al-Fitr is next, I think, Tuesday evening. So a very blessed holiday to those members of our community who are Muslim. And I'll close my comments there.
Thank you. And I just wanted to add just one comment about the lawsuit that we filed. It is on contingency, which means not one taxpayer dollar is going into this. And this is the part I would just like people I'm confused with your resistance. A judge will make this decision. So if it turns out that a judge says, oh, they did nothing wrong, nothing gained, nothing lost. And if it turns out the other way, it could end up just the way the opioid lawsuit ended up. So I thank you, everybody, today, and is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.